Welcome to Movie Life Crisis. Join us as we watch the best movies from 30 years ago.
Corey and her friends have had some crazy days before.
Shock me with that deviant behavior.
But this one may break the record. This fall,
today is the day that I'm gonna tell Corey how I feel about her.
Insanity rules
You forgot your thingy.
at Empire
I
Records.
swear to God, you get smarter the shorter your skirt gets.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Empire Records.
I like how they edited the music for that trailer like me and you would have edited on Peter Quisgard Cool Edit Pro to just loop the best things in life for free.
Cool Edit Pro 2.0, Peter Quisgard.
Shout out. Pour some out for Peter Quisgard.
What are the odds that anybody knows what we're talking about? I've seen that in one other place, and it was on Reddit. And when I saw Peter Quisgard, I was like, I cannot believe nobody. Who knows that name?
Who even knows Cool Edit Pro, except for people who are our age and did a lot of pretending like they were whatever Mace back in the late 90s with the skinny Bob Barker mics that came with Dell computers.
Trying to cover it up with a freaking stocking, with a sock, with a little thing on a toothpick, like everything.
Yeah, dude.
Nothing worked.
It was great times. It's like MacGyver. Movie Life Crisis Season 5, Episode 9, Empire Records.
Episode 9. Dude, I remember this movie way different.
Really? I've seen this so many times, it was exactly the way that I remembered it. I had this, I don't think I had it on VHS, but I definitely had it on DVD, and I watched it a ton. It's like, this is right in my wheelhouse.
See, so I remember it way different, and I think I remember it differently because I think I've only seen it once or twice before this. But I owned it on DVD, too. That's how I watched it.
Yeah, I probably told you to buy it, because I used to watch it all the time. I loved it.
Yeah, I definitely had it on DVD. I went and pulled it out of the thing, stuck it in the computer, and watched it that way.
Nice.
But I don't think I've seen it more than a couple times before this.
That's awesome. Real quick, we got Harry and the Hendersons coming out on Patreon. It'll be out by the time you guys hear this episode. You can do a free 7-day trial at Patreon, or you can support the arts for $5 a month and get bonus movies from us. We're doing 1987 right now.
87. Going backwards.
Yeah. Dude, when I listen to podcasts, I hate when they don't get on the topic immediately. And if this is your first time listening to this podcast, I understand if you're upset, but I was waiting to tell you two things. Number one, because I downloaded the Waterworld trailer from YouTube show me Waterworld content, and there's a YouTube channel that just talks about Waterworld, and it's got like almost 400,000 subscribers. Wow. And so it'd be like a 40-minute video that's like, here's what we know about the D's, and in parentheses, Exxon Valdez, Waterworld, 1995. But apparently there was like Waterworld comic books, and like I bought the novelization. God. I sent a picture of that to our Discord.
Oh yeah.
So like there's Waterworld content all over the internet. I am delighted to find that out.
I cannot believe that there's that much Waterworld content out there.
How is a YouTube channel about the movie Waterworld got 400,000 subscribers? 400,000 people didn't go see the movie when it came out.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. You guys should check that out.
I got no answer for that because I can't believe people still want to talk about Waterworld because I didn't want to by the end of that podcast.
Dude, I still want to talk about it. I'm going to read that novelization. And the second thing is I was wanting to tell you I had to go to the doctor for my annual checkup, and she was like, "You're 45. Time for a colon cancer screening." I was like, "Sweet. When do we do that?" Yeah. She's like, "There's a new method. You can go the old way and you can do the colonoscopy." And she's like, "You know how that works?" I was like, "Yeah, please don't give me the rundown." She's like, "Or there's a new method. There's an at-home test, and it's 92% effective, and it's only good for 3 years." And I was like, that sounds interesting. How does that work? And she goes, "Well, you poop in a box."
Yeah, man, Cologuard. I see commercials for it all the time. That box is super happy to be filled with my poop.
Of course you watch commercials and it's like Skechers and reverse mortgages and pooping in a box. So anyway, my box went out yesterday. So that was a fun time. I was like texting my wife. Better. I was like, keep Wolf out of the bathroom. I'm pooping in a box.
All I can think of is you would have to take Go Lightly if you did the other method, which is the worst name for anything that does that, because what it should be called is poop and cramp like a mofo, because it's horrible.
It should be called Indian buffet.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was delighted to have the option to poop in a box at my house, and I was like, man, I feel like in your teens, pooping in the box is the start of a hilarious prank, and in your 20s, it means you got blacked out in an alley, and in your 30s, it means the porta potty lines at Bonnaroo were super long, and now it just means you're getting a colon cancer screening.
Oh man, no
and that
thanks.
relates to movies not at all, except that if you remember these movies, you might also need to poop in a box sometime pretty soon.
Don't forget to poop in a box. It's paid for. You don't have to pay for shipping.
Oh,
man.
man.
You fellas, don't forget you also need to get your prostate checked. If you want to know what that's like, just go try to get some loose change out of a Coke machine. Return.
All right. Empire Records, give us a synopsis.
Synopsis: a day in the life of quirky record store employees as they fight to save their beloved shop from a corporate takeover.
Yeah, that does it.
Yeah.
It had a $10 million budget, and it had a $300,000 gross. So it was.
All right.
I don't even have a ranking for it. It's outside the top 200, which is as far back as the box office tracking that I can find goes.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, it looks like it was supposed to open wide on 1,000 screens, and after they had a bad test screening, they opened it on 87 screens. And so
that's not enough.
But then I saw some stuff where it's like people were complaining, people associated with the movie, they're like, the test screening was full of Latinos. Like, movie's not for them.
Yeah, I was
It's like, of course they hated it.
That's not what they're looking for. I think I might be Latino, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations.
After hearing that.
Gracias para ti. Yeah, I don't. But anyway, so didn't do great in the year.
Commercial failure, but
now cult.
People
favorite.
love it. People love it.
Cult classic.
No awards though. No major awards, unless you count special screenings on Rex Manning Day. Because that happens all over. But
yeah,
no awards, no major awards.
Nope. And I didn't see any. Did you see any sequels or spinoffs? They did a musical version of this.
Did they?
But that was all.
That.
But that was all I saw.
I did not see the musical version of that, like on Broadway type musical.
I don't know if it was on Broadway, but I saw the writer Carol Heikkinen. She was like, "Oh, I also wrote the musical," and then there was like a picture on her social media of like much younger kids doing it. Nice. And I was like, I don't know if it's like at the Hoboken Community Theater or if it actually was on Broadway.
Nice. How young were the kids that you're talking about? How young are these kids? Are these kids in high school?
They're in their early 20s, like late teens, early 20s. Yeah, dude. Princeton McCarter Theater Center on stage October 2024.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, last year in like a legitimate theater, not Broadway, but like pretty good.
Nice.
Did not catch that one. Didn't fly out to New Jersey to see that one.
Yeah, I missed it.
Haven't fully absorbed that one.
I had a quinceanera to go to, so I missed it.
All right.
So where'd you first see it?
I think I don't remember if this was on TV a lot because it's really not very dirty, or if I just like bought. But again, like this is a meatball right in the strike zone for me. It's a freaking teen comedy, coming of age ensemble. It's got smoking hot chicks. It's kind of funny. It's got good music. Like this is the sort of thing that I love movies like this. I always have. So I'm sure I bought it the first moment it was available, and I watched it a million times.
Watched it from there, yeah. I don't think, dude, when you said, like, I probably told you to buy it, I think that might have been a thing because I definitely, the first time I saw this, I remember, I went to a girl's apartment and we rented this and watched it. And I don't know if, like, it's just been indelibly linked with that night and what happened, like, and that's why I thought it was good in my head. But I mentally ranked it way higher before I rewatched it. Like,
you were watching it this time, you're like, no one even touched my Peppy. This is stupid.
She touched my Peppy, Steve. Like, I don't, so, but I don't know, man. Like, I think I really did. I was building it up in my head higher, thinking about what it was. And then I watched it and I was just like, I didn't think that was, that's not what I remember at all. This is
All
weird.
right. Well, you go first, dude. Tell me your rating.
All right, let me preface this by saying I rode with Johnny a lot, and he liked alternative rock. So, like, there were a bunch of alternative rock songs in the 90s that I got into. There was Wet Sprockets and friggin'
This Toad's the Wet Sprocket.
Yeah, Toad's the Wet Sprocket and friggin' coming in.
Better Than Ezra and Jen Blossom's Cranberries. Yeah.
Right. So I get all that, and I like some of those songs. I just wish they would have played the ones I knew, because I didn't know any of the 90s songs when they started playing them. And for me, the weird part I don't like when they give too much exposition. Is that what it's called? When they like explain everything? Like, I like when they don't explain it all the way and you have to figure stuff out. But dude, I didn't know what the heck was going on. Like, it was jumping around so much. And like, then they held the fake funeral at the end and people were all saying stuff, and what's her name was on meth or whatever, and then Liv Tyler was on speed, and what's her name was a whore, and the other guy was like an orphan. Like, then I realized, oh, this is why some of them act like they do, and I wanted that to be like a big reveal where I was like, oh, hell yeah. But I don't know. Like, the whole time I was just like, Lucas is kind of weird. Why isn't he going to jail? Didn't he just blow $9,000? Like, I get the whole idea, and I know it's a movie and I'm supposed to suspend belief, but I don't know, man. I like the ensemble cast. I like all of these actors, and it was only 90 minutes, but for me it felt like it was a TV show on network TV. Like I was watching The Neighborhood starring Cedric the Entertainer. Like, I don't know. It just felt that way to me. So I gave it a 5.0.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't. I'm not like I knew a lot of the alternative songs. It was never my thing.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I mean, the soundtrack is great. It's not even music that I like, but the soundtrack, there's like, I've recognized half of the songs. Like, holy shit, this soundtrack's actually incredible. And I don't know if those songs were big at the time or if they got big after because of the movie, but I recognized a bunch of them.
Yeah. Because I know that the soundtrack apparently made more money than the movie did. Like,
oh, dude, way more.
They sold a bunch of that. And I know the Gin Blossom songs, but I didn't know the freaking Toad the Wet Sprocket song. I didn't know that Better Than Ezra song. Like, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's fine. I don't think you have to know the music to enjoy the movie.
No, I'm with you. But that's when it started off, that's what I was picturing in my head. I was like, oh yeah, the freaking songs with the, I don't know why what's the song with if you could only see the, I was picturing that song in this movie and it never showed up, and it's not on the soundtrack. And I was like, why did I think that was in that movie?
I have no idea, honestly.
I put all of those together, and that's why, I don't know. I was just picturing it in my head as different.
I've seen this so many times. It's like, it makes perfect sense to me. I don't know if it's because I've seen it 100 times. I don't need to. Like, I was never confused. I remembered all of it. There were some bits that I was like, oh, I forgot about him gluing the quarters to the rug. That's freaking amazing. All these kids are just juvenile delinquents. Yeah. But, yeah, man, I love this movie. I have to have seen it more than 50 times. Like, I think the soundtrack is amazing, even though it's not the type of music that I like that much, like the 90s alt rock. Yeah. I think the cast is brilliant. Like, the whole ensemble, there's like 8 or 9 people in this thing. I had such a hard time picking characters because I love everybody. I didn't think anybody was doing a bad job. Just hard when you have like 9 different people in their early 20s. Right. I think it's well written. I think it's well directed. It's an ensemble coming-of-age comedy, like, about a thing that can only happen in the, like, dude, there's no giant independent record stores anymore. No one now even knows what that is. Like, there's, no one this age. But it seems like, it looks like another movie to me where it makes me think, like, God, that would have been the absolute perfect thing to do when you're a senior in high school and you live in Delaware and you're, in love with this girl that you work with who's actually freaking a speed addict because she's trying to get into Harvard. And, right. And there's then there's the slut, and then there's the alternative girl, and then there's like 3 stoners, and there's one like kind of weird guy. Yeah. Like, and then your boss is like kind of over it even though he's really only 36. Like, I just, like, dude, the whole thing to me is like, God, this is amazing. This makes me so nostalgic. Yeah. And it's got a really satisfying ending, which I love. I like when people wrap it up in a nice tight bow for me. Yeah. 90 minutes, but 90 minutes including the credits. So at 85 minutes, like the credits are rolling, and Amazon Prime is asking if I want to watch something different.
Right.
So, dude,
No,
I
I'm
loved it. I thought
totally
the
with
pacing
you,
was
though.
great.
The length wasn't the problem for sure.
I gave it an 8.5 because
Nice.
I like it, man.
You'll probably
I've
watch
been
it
liking it.
again.
Oh, I for sure will watch it again. I'm surprised it's been so long since I watched it last time. The part of the problem with the podcast is if I know we have a movie coming, like if it's like in the next 2 years, I go like, I don't want to watch that now because we'll do it on the podcast. But then I see
you
stuff.
want it to be fresh. Yes.
I'm like, dude, I'd love to watch that. I was like, I freaking can't. I can't. I like Gross Point Blank. I probably could watch that. That's like 5 years away. But like, High Fidelity, we're getting a little too close to. I got to hold off on that.
Yeah. I wish you hadn't said High Fidelity because that's a way better working in a record store movie for me.
Well, it's way funnier, but it's also
Yeah.
a very different movie because John, what's his name?
Cusack.
Is not supposed. John Cusack's not supposed to be 20 in that. He's
Right.
John Cusack's age, which is permanently 35.
Right.
When he was 20, he was 35, and now that he's 65, he's 35 still.
Oh man.
And then I hit him in the tray with my face.
But for reals, when I talked to Will about this movie, and he was like, "Dude, you can't compare it to High Fidelity because that's like if adults ran a store, and this is kids."
Yeah,
he's like, "This is like a '90s movie," and I was like, "This seems like a '90s movie for somebody who didn't grow up in the '90s." Like for me, this is not what the '90s was. So like, I didn't.
No, I think it was actually because the writer wrote about. I mean, the writer Carol Heikkinen wrote about her actual experiences working in a Tower Records in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But that means that means this experience happened for her in the 80s, and then she writes it, and so it really should have been like a late 80s, early 90s. But by the time it gets made, it's 95, and all they do is change the music.
Right.
But yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, let's do some scenes. What's your first best scene?
All right, first one is Lucas is the guy who steals the money in the very beginning or tries to make more at Atlantic City and loses it. And he doesn't go to jail. He goes to the couch.
Yeah.
And he's not allowed to leave the couch, and he keeps asking. Like he's asking Joe, the manager, who's in his office with the door closed.
Anthony LaPaglia, Tony LaPags.
And he's going, Joe, can I leave? Joe, I got to leave the couch. Joe, I'm going to leave the couch right now. And he just grabs a pillow and walks off with it, like holding the cushion. That was fantastic. That was a good
And then he
call.
walks out to the store, and Ethan Embry's like, I thought you weren't supposed to leave the couch. And he's like holding the pillow. He's like, I didn't leave the whole couch.
That for sure. That for sure was a good scene. That's the first one I came up with.
Yeah. Dude, this cast is amazing. Anthony LaPaglia, like Rory Cochrane, who's the Lucas, Robin Tunney, who's Deb, Renee Zellwegger, Liv Tyler, Ethan Embry. It's like 5 of these people have really incredible careers.
Yeah.
And I love the casting. My first one is it's kind of a longer scene, but it's when they first open the store. It's so like Lucas is supposed to take the money and deposit it. He doesn't do it. He goes to Atlantic City. He loses it at a craps table. He comes in the next morning super chill about it and just tells his boss, Anthony LaPags, he's like, by the way, I lost the money. He's like, what do you mean you lost it? He's like, where is it? He's like, it's in Atlantic City. He's like, what's it doing in Atlantic City? Recirculating. Like he's not at all concerned that he's committed felony theft.
Yeah.
And so he's confined to the couch, and he just starts throwing out weird epigrams. He's such a weird dude. And then
It's
there's
definitely weird.
Then there's Tony LaPags, who's like kind of in charge, but really is like younger than you and I am.
Yeah.
And he's freaking over it.
He
And
is.
then Deb, who is Robin Tunney, comes to work with her wrist tapes up and goes in the bathroom and shaves her hair. And while she's doing that, the guy that plays AJ is like crawling around in their break room, which is like the size of Monica's apartment in Friends, and it's just gluing down quarters.
To the rug, to the floor, to everything.
And then Liv Tyler is out there, and she's not even scheduled till the afternoon. She's just out there freaking ringing people up because she's that type A.
Yeah, and she wants to be there for Rex Manning Day.
Yeah, she's not on Rex Manning Day. And I'm just thinking, like, because I had jobs when I was a teenager. You did too, but like, I never had a job where I was like, I'm not on until 1, but maybe I'll just go in at 7:30. And I've also never had a job where it's like, I'm working right now, but actually I'm gluing quarters down in the back.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There was a lot of that. To me, that's the other part that felt kind of like a TV show. Is everybody that was working really wasn't working. Like even Ethan Embry walking around super high, feather dusting stuff and licking ballet feet. Like that, he wasn't really working. Dude, maybe there's I was just never that person, I guess. Maybe.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what. In 2025, that would be that store would be staffed by 2 automatic kiosks. There's no way you'd have 9 people walking around, half of them in the back just dicking off. I was like, this is not. Deb was in the frickin' listening booth doing her taxes. It's like, are you on the clock? Get to work.
So, but here's my thing: is that just Joe being a bad manager? Because
I think that's Joe being a great manager. If you don't mind paying 9 people to work when you only needed 3.
Well, no, I was thinking of the business side of this whole thing, not the teen comedy side of it. So, like, imagine being the suit that comes in and wonders where the money is. Like, does he have a legitimate... Like, maybe it's because I'm 46 now, but I'm like...
Yeah, dude, this is some boomer shit right here.
Yeah, he's got some...
Here's what I would say.
legitimate
If you're
gripes.
paying minimum wage to teenagers, you should expect minimum effort and minimum competency. And you're going to have to hire more of them because none of them are going to really try. That's what minimum means.
But that's why you have to have a manager. Got to keep telling him, get to work. Stop gluing quarters. Why'd you steal $9,000? Who's doing your why are you doing your taxes?
Yeah, do your taxes on your own time. I remember when I was working in Colorado and I was a ski bum, and I was just like, everyone there was a ski bum. And so it was more like the movie Out Cold than like this movie, but still, it was everyone working for not a lot of money and like 3 kind of grown-ups who were in charge of stuff. And I was just like in the snowboarding side of the shop, like with my feet kicked up, just like talking to one of the other guys working. And then one of the older guys came from downstairs. He's like, hey, Skippy, get off your ass. We got customers. And I was like, all right, take it easy. I'm coming. But I remember it distinctly because I was 19. I was like, what, dude, what? All right, they'll be there. It's the goggles are not going to walk away.
I in the pharmacy at CVS, I was always trying not to get in trouble. So, you know what I'm saying? Like That's
different though, because you're standing right there in your lab coat and you're on a platform. I can't be down there on the floor with you people. I'm putting the pills from the big bottle in the little bottle.
Into the little bottle. You wait.
But
there.
dude, that's like the assembly line. Like you can't really dick off when you're a pharmacy tech. I feel like. Like if you're stocking shelves, you put on your headphones and you take a really long time to put all the candy bars away. But when you move pills from the big bottle into the little bottle, you got to be dialed in.
Got to do it in an order. I don't know, man. It did seem like there was a whole lot of people at work on one day, and
it's
none
Rex
of
Manning
them
Day.
were working. Yeah,
None of them. Dude, they had a funeral for Deb, and only Ethan Embry was out there working the registers, and he's like calling. He's like, I need some help.
Help me, please.
And the whole store is in the back having a fake funeral. That's great. I got that one as well on my list.
Oh, nice. My next one is when Lucas goes to Atlantic City. He hops on his motorbike, puts on his yellow goggles, drives to Atlantic City. I remembered that part vividly, how he was like walking around going Black 24, and it like lands on Black 24 or whatever it is.
And he pulled the like slot machine arm for the one lady as he was walking past, and it hit a jackpot.
And it won. I liked it, and I think I wrote that down because that was right before I realized he wasn't going to apologize or get in trouble for it at all.
No.
And that's weird. I don't know. It was... So I put that down because I like that part. But knowing how I feel at the end of the movie, I don't like that part as much. But I still put it down because when I watched it originally, I was like, that's cool. I like that. I like how he's just like, bada bing, bada boom, pointing at people and knowing stuff and doing
I think
the
that's a great conceit to open the movie. He's going to close the store for the first time ever. It's a huge amount of trust placed on him by Joe, Anthony LePags. And then he realizes they're about to sell the store to a music town, which is like a national chain, like a Tower Records. And he's like, hell with this. I'm taking the envelope full of cash. I'm getting on my motorcycle. I'm going to Atlantic City, and I'm betting it all on the dice. Even though he doesn't know the rules of craps. He's like, so is it a 7? Is a 7 what you want? And they're like, yeah, do that. And he's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. I also don't know the rules of craps all the way.
I don't either, but I wouldn't take my employer's money instead of taking it to the bank, take it to the craps table.
That's friggin'... And the fact that he was so weird when he came back, that part was weirding me out too. I was like, did I miss... I almost rewound it so I could be like, did I miss something? Did he have like an epiphany like on Office Space, and that's why he's acting like this? Like it was weird that...
No, he saw the franchise agreement from Music Town. That was what set it off.
Right. I know, but now that just means he's going to federal pound me in the ass prison, to quote Office Space again. So, like, I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, it's weird that he would do that and then not be like, look, I'm sorry, I was trying to help everybody.
Yeah.
He was just like, it's in circulation. What other questions could you possibly have? As if that was a
And then he's like, I don't like money. It's like, okay, hippie, but in the meantime, where did it all go? My next scene also features Lucas Rory Cochrane, and it's when the young kid wearing the windbreaker, Warren, is shoplifting, and Lucas is not allowed to leave the couch, but he's carrying the cushion around, and he sees that Warren, who's like a younger teenager, is shoplifting, and he's like having a conversation with somebody, and as he's doing it, you can see he's changing into his tennis shoes.
So he could chase him down, yeah. Oh, man.
And then they have a really long scene where he goes and talks to him, the kid runs out of the store, and like freaking Lucas goes and meets him outside. He turns around and runs back into the store, and like Renee Zellweger's on the PA. She's like, "Attention, customers! There's a shoplifter. Like, the police will be here shortly." It's like, isn't it customary to leave the scene of the crime?
Yeah, leave when you steal.
And then they hold the kid. They illegally detain him, and they stick him on the couch, and they make him take pictures with the CDs while they wait for the cops to show up.
Yeah.
And then he's back there, and he's like, Lucas stole $9,000, and nothing happens to him. All I took is a couple lousy CDs.
He's like, metal, rap. Whitney Houston. That's for my girlfriend.
Stealing for someone else?
Another reference to the good movie about record stores. Yeah, dude, I like that kid that played Warren.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job because he's one of the younger people, Brendan Sexton.
Oh yeah.
But I don't remember seeing him in other things. Looking at his picture from like more recently, he's been in other stuff that I've seen.
He's been in a million things.
Yeah, he just melted into the background for me because I didn't recognize him. There's only like even the AJ dude. Was he on something else that I'm supposed to remember? Like
Johnny Whitworth was on. I was looking at that. I was like, dude, I remember him from Bye Bye Love, and I remember him from Empire Records.
Right.
That's both of those are in 1995. What's he been doing since? He was on like CSI Miami and
right.
Like a bunch of stuff I didn't see. Like he was in Limitless.
Yeah.
That's where I remember seeing him, was in the movie Limitless, because I've seen that movie a bunch of times. I love it.
Yeah, I don't. I remember him from friggin' Bye Bye Love and this, but like he looks so familiar. You know, at first I was like, oh wait, is this the dude from the one about girls, 100 Girls? No, that's not right. 8 Days a Week? No, that's not right either. But one of those type movies. I felt like he was in one of those, but I looked through the list and I'm like, no, it's not. I can't think of him, but I remember him from Bye Bye Love. You guys got any Raffi? Reefer? Raffi. I don't. I don't know. I don't know where it is. My third scene is at the very end when they're dancing on the roof. Because Gin Blossoms comes on, Till I Hear It From You. Till I hear it. I got excited because I was like, hey, it's a song from the 90s, and I know this one, and the movie's over, so this is one I'm putting down. So I marked it down as my third scene. I liked how they were all looked like they were actually having fun. And I don't know if that was on an actual roof, but I like those kind of signs where there's like the.
I think it was on a soundstage.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think the interior they shot on location, and I think some of the exterior stuff was, or most of it was sound stages. I like that. I like that the movie ends like it ends with them like raising money to save Empire Records so that Anthony LaPage can buy it from the suit. Damn the man.
Yeah.
And then they're like having a concert on the roof, and Renee Zellweger's up there with a really short skirt. I'm sure singing maybe.
She was probably singing, I think.
Yeah, and people are like, "Here's my money, take all of it."
Yeah.
And then there's like a big, crane shot that comes away, and they're all just dancing on the roof as the movie ends.
Yeah.
It's a great ending.
And I know that song. I like Gin Blossoms.
Yeah, my third was Deb's funeral, because she shaves her head and then she's like tried to kill herself, and she's very mopey and alternative and emo way before there was any such thing as emo. Yeah. And then Liv Tyler decides to be nice to her. She's like, we're going to have a funeral for Deb, and then she lays on the thing, and then we're going to say nice things about her. And I like that part because they're all kind of doing their like confessional stuff, explaining why they are the people that they are. And
Right.
She's like laying there being sarcastic. She's like, I hate this funeral. And it's
Yeah.
like, dead people don't talk, Deb.
She keeps trying to sit up, and they just keep pushing her back down.
Yeah. I like that part.
Yeah. I like that too because that finally shows all of the stuff that I didn't know about these characters.
Yeah.
And explains a lot of stuff. I want to. What's up with the pizza guy? He works there.
The pizza guy. I couldn't tell. I think it was supposed to be that maybe he worked at a pizza place like next door.
Yeah.
And he just was like hanging out because it's the 90s and there's no internet, so everyone's like, I'll just go hang out.
It felt like when he came in at one point, he was like changing his shirt, and he was like hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know if that dude worked there. I couldn't figure that part out either.
Yeah.
Like,
I wasn't really
that's-
sure about that either. But
That's the kind
I
of
think people.
exposition I want. I don't know why I need clarification on small things like that.
Yeah, I don't know why
That's the
that
kind
makes
of
any
stuff
difference to
It
you,
does.
honestly.
In the whole story, it definitely doesn't. But I like it when it fits.
Who's that guy? What'd that guy say when I said, who's that guy? Oh, I remember how this ends. Dude, I think the thing that people have to understand about the 90s is that because there weren't really any cell phones and there was definitely no social media, you just had to hang out with people, even if you didn't really like them. And if you didn't know what to do, you would just go places where you thought people were going to be and you would just hang out.
Yeah. And
Like, if
now
people-
I'm the complete opposite.
If people
If I
did
know
that,
people are going to be there, I don't want to go.
I'm just thinking like it'd be after school, and it wasn't like I made a plan, but I would just get home and I'd be like, well, I guess I'll just get on my bike and just ride to a couple people's houses and see who's home.
See who's
You just
doing what.
roll up on your bike and you're like, oh, hey, look, John, Mark, and Conrad are here. Let's go jump on the trampoline with them. Like, let's go.
Or
let's go
knock
light
on
stuff
the door
fire
and
in the
actually
woods.
talk to their parents. Hey,
Yeah.
is John Mark here? Can he come out?
Yeah, it's like, he's not here. He went over to the sheriff's. So it's like, cool, I'll go over there now. You just would ride around, and then, dude, it really was like a pack of wild dogs. And it was
Track
the
people
best.
down like a noir detective.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'm sure that guy, maybe he just worked at one of the different businesses and was like, I'll just hang out here because I'm not really doing much right now.
Yeah.
All right, dude, let's
Except
do
making
quotes.
brownies.
Let's do our top 3 quotes.
All right, I'll go first. My first one is the part that you were talking about where Mark or Ethan Embry is stuck working by himself, and he's answering the phone, and he answers it the same throughout the whole movie. He's like, Empire Records open till midnight. This is Mark. And then there's like a pause, and he's like, midnight. Because the person on the phone asked him what time
are
the
they
alcohol
open
is.
till? Perfect.
As soon as I heard that line, all I can think of is the story my dad told me when he worked at a jewelry store where there's a guy working for him, and the guy was very like, "Yay, forget about it. Yay, I'm gonna do me." You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of guy. And my dad was always like, "Hey, look, when people come in, ask them if you can help them." He's like, "Jerry, they're not listening to me. It doesn't matter. They're not listening." He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Watch, I'll show you." This person's walking in. He's like, how's it going, man? Fuck you very much. And she's like, no, I'm just picking up a return. He's like, okay. My dad's like, whatever. Say whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Nobody listens to the opening spiel. So, like, it didn't even matter what you say.
Yeah, dude, when you smash through it like that, there's no chance anyone's gonna capture it.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah,
Anyone who's
yeah.
ever worked at a job where you had to answer the phone and say stuff like that, you immediately go like, open till midnight. Midnight, I said. I'll kill you.
Listen
Ciao
to
there.
my words. Ciao there. So, yeah, that was my first one.
That's a great one. My first one is, by the way, I love that Ethan Embry's playing Mark with a K, but he's going to start a band, Mark, with a C. That way you just kind of mess with their minds.
Gotta always keep messing with their minds.
My first one is not on Rex Manning Day, just because everyone kept saying that the whole day.
Not on Rex Manning Day. I have a bunch of questions about Rex Manning, but I feel silly asking them now. But I don't get the whole thing. Like he doesn't know them, right? He's being introduced to them.
No, he's doing it in store to sign a bunch of
to
pictures
sign-
and to make money.
Yeah. Right.
And like that's
And
why
that-
he pulls up and he's like this, and his manager's like, everyone's a
No
fan.
gig too
He's like,
small.
no,
Right,
no
right.
gig too small. Yeah, he's an aging pop star like Leif Garrett, and he's got to show up there and sign pictures
Right.
for old chubby people and gay guys, and he's like, I hate this.
Yeah.
And he's wearing
By
a
the
silk
way,
shirt.
the gay guy who like gets all flustered when he
Yeah.
points at him and says whatever, as they're panning the camera down the line rather of them waiting in line, the girl in front of that guy holds up something so he could fix his hair. And I rewound it like 12 times because it looked like it was a cell phone. But it
Yeah.
was 1995. There's no way it was a smartphone. But it looks,
No.
it's the same shape. There's dots on the back that look like it could be a camera. I can't,
Was it like a compact, like girls have, like
I
have
think
for
it
makeup?
was just a mirror with something
Yeah.
on the back of it. But I watched it a bunch of times. What about the person that works for Rex Manning?
Yeah.
How does she know Joe? Only in like a business
I don't know.
setting? And then
I don't know.
Then she comes
so I
back
think-
and asks him out, and I'm like,
I think
wait, did
that
miss
was
something
I think
there?
that was Rex Manning's publicist or something. It's
Right.
Debbie Mazur,
Yeah.
playing Jane. And
By the way-
because Joe was had like drums and stuff in his office, I think he probably was like a musician at some point. So I'm assuming that you're supposed to assume that they knew each other from music.
outside of that, and that's how they set this up.
Like he
That's
was
what
a
I was
musician and she's been in music publishing or whatever. Or, you know,
Because when she quit, she told Joe, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
weird. Why
yeah,
would
she doesn't
tell
work
the
for
guy-
Joe.
Yeah, that's weird to me. Also,
Yeah.
the chick that plays that part, I always used to get confused with the girlfriend from Waterboy. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Vicky
is the
Valancourt?
eyes. Yeah, it's in the eyes. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think so.
get-
She's got like red hair in this movie, but she's got insanely blue eyes.
Yeah, super bright blue eyes, and I think that's what it is. Yeah. So, yeah, I get that now. That she just might have known Joe outside of that, because then she asked him out at the end.
Yeah.
So then I was
I'm
like,
assuming
wait,
there's
shit, did I miss
I'm assuming there's history there that maybe because there's like 27 minutes of deleted scenes or 17 minutes.
Yeah,
They did a re-release in the early 2000s that had a bunch of deleted scenes. Maybe that was explained there.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was
It
a little
doesn't
bit
change
like,
the story.
oh, I don't know how they know each other, but
Right.
they do, and like that's
Yeah.
fine for me. I don't really.
Right.
I don't need to go into that world.
No, I get it. I get that.
What's
I
your
think
next
it's because
quote?
I'm taking notes on stuff. Is why I want to know all the answers. My next one is right after Deborah comes in. She goes straight to the bathroom and shaves
Yeah.
her head, which was cool that they had clippers and all that already in there for her.
just in case.
Yeah, just in case. And she comes out, and AJ, the guy's like, didn't you have hair when you went in there, right? And she's like, yeah, it's still in the sink if you want to glue it. I love that because he was sitting there freaking gluing quarters to the ground. That was great.
I love that one.
I like.
I love that. I love that line. I got Deb on my characters because Robin Tunney was fantastic. Yeah. My next one is a quote from Anthony LaPags, and because Lucas keeps going like, "Damn the man, Joe," and he's just like, he just doesn't care about anything, even though he should be in prison. Right. And so the guy who owns the store, the suit, is named Mitchell, and so
Mitch, yeah.
and so Joe goes, "Mitchell's the man. I'm the idiot. You're the screw up, and we're all losers. Welcome to Music Town."
And then he gives them the freaking aprons that they have to wear. God,
Yeah.
I hate a work uniform. A work uniform is the worst.
Me too, man. There's very little that I want out of work life, but one of the things that I want is to not have to wear a uniform, and another thing that I want is to not have to tuck my shirt in. So
Those seem like two very reasonable things.
totally reasonable to me, and I feel like I've gotten there. Sometimes at Vanderbilt, everyone's wearing suits and ties, and I'm like, I think I'm okay. You guys have PhDs. I'm just here helping.
Yeah, no need for the suit. You're going to know exactly why I chose my last one. But AJ's talking to Lucas, and he says, "Lucas, do you think it's possible for a person to be in love with somebody else and not even know it?" And then he says some stupid line where he's like, "In this life, there are nothing but possibilities." He's like, "Well, that's good because I have to tell Corey I love her by 1:37."
Yeah.
And he was like, "That's an excellent time." Of course, I picked it because 37, man, it's the freaking number. It's everywhere.
I know.
So I picked that one. That was my third one.
That's a great number. I almost picked that one, but I figured that you probably would. My next one is they don't happen in the same part of the movie, but we just keep going back to this same setting. And Warren is trying to, while they're waiting for the police to arrive, Warren, the shoplifter's trying to pry up one of the quarters that AJ's glued down. He's like, who the hell would do this? And AJ goes, I don't feel the need to explain my art to you, Warren.
Dude, the fact that when they asked his name and he was like, Warren Beatty, and then they just kept calling him Warren the rest of the time.
Every single person was just called him Warren the whole rest of the time. He's like, my name's not Warren.
He was getting very upset.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
great.
I love that him gluing quarters to the floor was somehow art.
Yeah, you got to support the arts. All good quotes. Who's your first best character?
Man, I had a hard time with this because this is a great ensemble, and I think it's brilliantly cast. I like every single person, and so only having to be able to pick 3 out of like 7 or 8 was brutal. But my first one is I love a good straight man because I think the comedy is hard to work if someone there is not the straight man. I thought AJ was awesome. Johnny Whitworth, he was kind of funny, but he was supposed to be like kind of the grounding, like most regular person of a bunch of not regular people. I guess technically Anthony LaPags is that, but he's the adult, so.
Yeah.
But I got AJ because I just adult. I don't know where he's been for 30 years, but he's freaking perfect in this. He's got that like Jonathan Taylor Thomas hair, and he's got the freaking weird artsy sweater, and he's real angsty about Liv Tyler, which is very believable to me because she's absolutely freaking set my screen on fire.
Agreed.
And I just have a soft place for long-haired guys in high school who are like, man, I really like that girl. I probably am going to tell her, but probably not. I'm like,
yeah, sounds familiar. Dude, I also had AJ. I liked him. Dude wanted to go to art school. And ever since there was that Austrian guy who didn't get into art school and ruined everybody's life, I always pull for people to get into art school. So
yeah, man, the world be a better place if everyone went to art school.
Yeah, just get into art school.
They'll be able to pay those loans back, no problem.
Yeah. The problem comes in, though, if you don't, and then you have a problem with Jewish people, and it ruins it for everybody. So I always pull for art school. Yeah.
The problem is if you're the angsty guy who's in love with your girl best friend, and it's not a movie, it's not going to go well for you.
Yeah.
In real life, you just keep that to yourself. Keep that buried deep inside. But in the movies, friggin' slam dunk every time. So guess what? She liked you too. That ain't how it works.
The whole time she liked you too.
Liv Tyler was just waiting on you to say that to her. She was wishing upon a star that you would confess.
All you had to do is say something. In real life, that is correct. You push that down and only take it out in the shower. And do not say anything. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Johnny Whitworth, that's a good choice. My first one, I was going to choose Burko. The guy, because his name is Coyote Shivers in real life.
Yeah.
But instead, I chose his stepdaughter, Liv Tyler, as my first one.
Yeah, dude. She's great.
He was married to Liv Tyler's mom at the time when they filmed this, so he was technically her stepdad. How freaking weird is that?
Oh, man. Dude, her life, I don't know very much about her, but her life is so freaking crazy. I saw a social media clip of her, and she's doing a podcast with her half-sister, who she didn't know was her half-sister until she randomly met her at an Aerosmith show. I was like, her life is the weirdest shit ever.
Yeah.
If she's even remotely normal, it's an absolute miracle.
Yeah. I'm really holding out to see her in That Thing You Do Next year. She's wonderful. I
love That Thing You Do.
There's nothing I don't like her in. Like, even when she was in like the Lord of the Rings movies and stuff like that. Like, I like her in all the things. She's a really good actress.
And she is, I think 18 when this movie releases, maybe even 17 during the production. So she's like brand new to this stuff, and I thought she was really good.
Yeah, she's doing a really good job. Do you remember the Alicia Silverstone, Liv Tyler, Aerosmith videos back in the Gap?
Yeah, of course I do.
Those are amazing. I want to go back and watch those now.
Do you remember music videos?
When you said her life is crazy, and I was like,
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, dude.
I want to go watch this. But Liv Tyler, who I pick first. I also like that they gave her the name Corey.
Yeah.
I like it every once in a while when a girl has a guy's name. Not like a Dave or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the only way they do it anymore.
This.
I think girls now pretty much only have guys' names. It's the woke agenda ruining the world. It's what the internet told me. Yeah. My next pick was Robin Tunney as Deb.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, there's such a good ensemble. I'm like, I want to make sure I recognize at least one of the women, and I think of all of them, she was my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about her a little bit for Encino Man for 1992, but she's so good.
She shaved her actual head too. Like,
that's what I was going to say.
She had to wear a wig. Like, I was reading an article about.
Well, no, it was her idea because the director told her that the studio wanted to fire her because they said she was too cute to be believable as a depressed girl. I guess attractive people never got depressed in 1995.
Yeah, never.
And so she said, like, I'll just shave my head. She's like, I shave my head, and he was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And
She freaking
And she
actually
did.
shaved it too. That was freaking great.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I really like her. I thought she had a really good performance, and her characters. Dude, again, anytime someone writes a movie and there's a bunch of characters and they all are distinct people, that to me is like a magic trick. I don't know how.
Yeah, different actual people. Dude, she was my third. I really like her as an actress, and teaching high school seniors, there are definitely kids that are just like her. Like, not the bandage on the wrist and
Right.
tried to kill myself with a Lady Bic with flowers and a moisture strip,
And
like
a moisturizing strip.
not like that, but like, but they're definitely like, like
Just like bitchy and emo.
Yeah, emo girls that are like,
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna shave just this side and see if anybody notices, and like wears big boots and stuff like that. Like they remind me of her a lot, and I kind of like those kids the most. 'Cause
Nice.
They're the ones that'll do the work and talk about it. But yeah, she's the one I picked third too. Who's your third?
My third was Rory Cochrane as Lucas.
Nice.
I hated to I really didn't want to leave out Ethan Embry because I love Ethan Embry, and I didn't want to leave out Liv Tyler or Renee Zellwegger or Anthony LaPax because I thought they were all awesome. But like, Lucas kind of drives this whole story, and he's such a weirdo that I just think it's a really memorable performance.
Big time weirdo. Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, I have to grab that guy. We talked about him when we did Dazed and Confused a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's also done a ton of stuff, man. Like, I don't know. We may not see anything else from him.
I was
going to
say, I can't think of another thing looking at his thing that we'll actually do. Looking at his list that we'll actually do.
I know.
But that's okay.
He's definitely done weird movies.
Yeah, he's kind of weird in this movie.
He's totally weird. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's one of those ones where it's like, this is probably a weird person who's acting as a weird person and doing a great job.
Yeah. Less method, more method acting.
But that's I was picking like Liv Tyler, Renee Zellweger, Ethan Embry, Anthony LaPax. I was like, dude, I got to give it to Lucas, Rory Cochrane. That was such a good performance.
Yeah. I like Ethan Embry also. And the fact that he had a dream, I'm high on Brownie's dream about Gwar.
Yeah.
I only know about them because of Jason Rogers and Chris Broussard. That's a crazy freaking...
Well, dude, the director said, I didn't know who Gwar was. That was Ethan Embry's idea. I was like, that's so weird.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. Good actors in this. Let's
Writer, director stuff. So Carol Heikkinen wrote the script. She wrote it on spec, and it was about her experiences working at a Tower Records in Phoenix, where she was from. And then the New Regency and Warner Brothers had a bidding war for the script. Regency wins the bid. They pay her $325,000 plus $200K when it goes into production. Plus she gets back in from the soundtrack and from the merch.
Ooh, soundtrack,
which is
a good call.
Soundtrack was a real good call. So and it's pretty amazing because the great bit of trivia about this is 2 days after they greenlight Empire Records, Regency gets offered the script for Clueless, and they turn it down. So like, we got our teen comedy for the summer. We're all good here.
Wow.
And so they turned down a $56 million movie and make a $300,000 movie instead, which is kind of amazing. Although, truthfully, 30 years later, both of those movies are kind of beloved. Clueless is still much bigger.
Yeah.
But like, Empire Records was not as big of a miss as it seemed like in 95.
Of those teen comedies, I think more people would definitely know Clueless.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. I also like how she wrote Center Stage. I used to like that movie.
I was gonna say Center Stage. I remember when that movie came out. I think I was in college or just out of college, and my brother was in high school.
Yeah.
And I convinced him to go see it with me because we were just looking for something to do. And I was like, "Come on, man! It's chicks, it's ballet. It'll be great." And he's still mad about it to this day because he hated it.
Wasn't there a Michael Jackson song in there? I feel like I remember them dancing to a Michael Jackson song.
It seems like it because Zoe Saldana was in that.
Yeah, I was going to say Gamora's in there, and I feel like I remember her dancing to that.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen that movie. I
only saw it that one time. Yeah, dude. Oh man, Mandy Moore is in there. Oh, The Way You Make Me Feel. Yeah.
The Way You Make Me Feel. I remember that movie, but I don't know any of the other ones that she wrote.
No.
That this lady wrote, and even the director. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12. Dude, they have 15 things listed on their thing. Pump Up the Volume's the only other.
Yeah,
one
Alan
that I
Moyle is the
recognize.
director, and he gets the job because he directed Pump Up the Volume in 1990, which is like another teen ensemble movie with
Right.
Christian Slater. That's why he gets this job. And then he gets the cast together. They film in North Carolina, and he got them together for a month of rehearsals. So it's all teenagers. They're all like Liv Tyler's 17, 18. They go up to like maybe 25 is the oldest, 23 to 25. And so they literally just spend a month just being teenagers and being idiots and partying and like quote unquote rehearsing. But that's why the chemistry is so good in this movie, because the director brings them all together and does like a little movie camp, and they actually get to
like,
be
live
friends.
together
They get
and
to be
stuff.
close.
Yeah. That's
So
that
like,
was
I
a
love
good
when
way to
movies
that.
do stuff like that. I like when freaking Ron Shelton does that for like the baseball movies. Like gets like Bull Durham's, get everybody together and let's go to freaking spring training so we learn how to play baseball and like be in the
Learn how to
locker
do
room.
it. Yeah.
How do we ever win 8? It's a miracle.
Yeah, and I like Pump Up the Volume Back in the Gap. I haven't watched that
Yeah.
in a while. I don't know if we'll
I don't remember when the last time I
ever
saw
jump
that.
around to see that one, but
Yeah.
I
Bonus
think-
good that I had was the soundtrack sold 2 million copies, which means they
That's
made
a
about
lot.
$40 million on the soundtrack and 300,000
lot.
on the movie.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Under my bonus good, I had the thing we talked about. Tobey Maguire was in there, but wanted to get help for his drinking problem or something, so he asked.
Yeah,
to
he
be
asked
cut
for
out.
his scenes to be cut because I think he needed
Right.
to go to rehab during the production of this movie.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, he must have really needed to go to rehab because he was 19 and he asked for them to cut him out of a movie so that he could go.
Right.
I mean,
and then
his career's been fine, but
yeah, it worked out great. Warren was also supposed to have a sister who was apparently supposed to be funny, but she got cut out too. So, like you said, 40 minutes of stuff getting cut out. The other thing that I had on there, I wish those buttons that she made, when she throws the buttons down and you could see all the different buttons,
yeah.
I wanted to pause long enough to read them, and I was on freaking DVD, so I was pausing them, and some of them were too blurry. I like stuff like that. Those are I know this is just nitpicking, but I really wish they would have had more on that. Because I like when there's like inside. You remember she had like one just said stupid, but
Yeah.
one was like she gave a button to each person and it was based on what their personality was like, and I liked that, and I wanted it to be funny, and I wanted her to show it to me. And that's the thing I put down at the bottom because I didn't have a spot to put it above. But that's really what I wanted.
Nice.
I wanted the buttons to be funnier.
All right. You got any more good?
I have questions, but they're all just like the bucket of money that he gives Mitchell. Was that enough to buy? Was that the $9,000? Like, how many 20s are in $9,000? 450?
Yeah.
450. Was there 450 20s in there? There was like 1s and 5s in that bucket. Did he just go like, I'm going to sell it to you cheap and just let bygones be bygones? Like and he's just walking out and he's like, I guess I don't work here anymore. Did he have any stuff in the office? Like, I have all these kind of questions because I'm 46 now and I'm not like watching this.
Well, so
girl's couch.
here's my question for you: is that all you've done is complain about the movie? You're saying you would have enjoyed it more if there'd been a long scene of them counting money? Is that what your request is?
No,
that they
no,
spend
I just
time
want-
on screen counting 20s when they
I
get to
want them to
450, then
fix
they
it.
can cut to the next scene?
Then you
they
can
can't
cut.
fix it because
No.
you don't want to watch movies of people counting money. That's the most
I don't
boring
want them to
fucking thing
count
I've
it.
ever heard of.
No,
Well, they have to
calm
count it if you're going to
down.
know how much is in there.
I
You can't know how much is in there if you don't count it, Jeff. You got to count it. Let's hear. So we'll do. We'll count. I'm going to film me counting to 450 and send you the clip, and you tell me where you rate that 1 to 10. It's idiotic. You want them to count money on screen so that
I
you
never
know it's the
said
right
count.
amount.
I
Well, how do we
never said
figure out how
count.
much it is? Do we weigh it?
Do you just go like, hey, here it is. We counted this. Off screen, we counted it.
He said,
And this
"Here's
is
your
how-
money. It's all there. Count it." That's exactly what was the line. So the thing that you're complaining about is actually what he already
I just
did.
didn't think $9,000 would fit in there, and I'm wondering if he took
But how do we
less.
prove it if we don't count it on screen?
No, we can't. We can't prove it. We can't prove it. I don't.
Well,
I
wait,
just
didn't they
don't
have one of
think it
those
was enough
cash
money.
counting machines in the office?
That would have been nice. It was in the truck in the back where the FBI was. No, I'm saying like I just don't think it's enough money. Why would that guy take a loss on his record store? That's silly.
Because he had to run the register and he was really mad about how hard it was.
Yeah, it's super hard. Super hard. I don't know. I don't that kind of suspended belief that is the part that I didn't like. Like I was just like, why is this guy just letting him get away with it? Why is Lucas getting away with it? Why is Warren coming back to work? He discharged a weapon.
He shot up the place. Well, dude, it's America. You can do that.
Yeah.
I know. Well, the cops said in the movie, they were like, well, he's a minor and it's blank, so you can't really do much. It's like, it seems like you should be able to do something. If someone comes into the store brandishing a gun and shoots it off a bunch of times, I don't want to hear that because it was blanks he's not in trouble. Like, who's going to buy new underwear for me?
Yeah, I didn't shoot blanks into my back of my pants. The
other question that I have is that Lucas said when they were doing Deb's funeral that Joe basically came and got him out of a group home. Like, did he adopt him to work in this record store? That seems like a weird detail.
These are the kind of questions I was having too. And again,
but that wasn't the question you had. The question you had was, how can they prove to me there's $9,000 in there?
No, that's another question. Dude, I have a whole list of questions. I'm just skipping them because I know we don't want to talk about Ethan Embry licking a ballerina's foot. Like,
dude, that
he
part
was
weird.
high.
But if you're high, you do weird shit.
Yeah.
And if you're a teenager and you're high at your job, you probably did a lot of weird stuff.
Licking feet.
Why is she in there barefoot? I got a problem with that too.
Yeah, she's dressed like a ballerina.
Yeah, dude, and she's holding her ballet slippers around her neck. But did she walk there barefoot in her ballet outfit, or does she have a bag somewhere that had regular shoes in it?
And was she listening to music for ballet?
Yeah, was she listening to Chopin? Who are the classical people? Beethoven? Those are the ones I got.
Some guys.
Jen Blossoms, were they classical?
The Jen Blossoms classic. All right, what about worst? Other than the $9,000 that we have to count on screen apparently now.
Well, dude, you said, are we sure that's enough money? I feel like we should go back. I rewound it and I counted 20s, but I didn't get to enough.
I was literally just asking if you think $9,000 would fit in that oversized cheese ball barrel.
I 100% think that $9,000 would fit in there, but I also want to know how, like, this is stuff that I don't care about at all. Like, when they heist somewhere and they have a duffel bag and it's supposed to be full of gold, I'm like, that duffel bag would weigh 3,000 pounds. All right, Jonas, take it easy. Shit just blew up. It was awesome.
Yeah. No,
like, you don't have to worry about how much the duffel bag weighs. That part's not important.
If I'm not watching this with taking notes, then I don't think about any of this. But the whole time I'm like, why does his eye do that? Like, that's all I can see.
I like that you
now.
think that there's going to be a written test at the end of this for content and not just that we're supposed to be explaining whether or not it's fun. You're like,
dude, if it would have been funnier, I probably would have forgot about all of these questions. But
it's not very funny. It really isn't very funny.
Yeah.
I love it, but it just there's not big laughs in this. If you're comparing it to High Fidelity for laughs, you're not even close. High Fidelity is freaking hysterical.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't have any worse, man. I really like this movie, and there's some stuff in there that I have some questions about, but nothing that really bothers me. It's tight. It's a great cast. It's a great soundtrack. 8.5 out of 10 for me. I feel great about that.
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, the worst stuff that I had, there was no like worst scenes where I'm like, oh, you got to take out Rex Manning. He didn't do anything for the movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
The one that I always used to not like when I watched this movie a lot was the Gwar scene with Ethan Embry, partially because he's like eating the pot brownie and it's all up in his teeth, and I don't like looking at people who have stuff in their teeth.
Yzma, how long has that been there?
My spinach puffs.
Yeah, I don't have any scenes or characters or worst effects. There's not really any special effects in this that you can worry about. But the old tech, man, did you see that when he was dancing around, Ethan Embry was dancing around, there was a wall of cassettes, and all of them were those, like the binding, the side of the cassette was white with the red block light writing. Uh-huh. Oh, man, and there was a whole wall of them. I was like, oh, man, I remember what those look like. And
dude, what about old tech when he vetoed Ethan Embry's music pick early on in the morning and he took it out of the like 5-disc changer, but he didn't just go like, I'm taking your music out. He took his lighter out and burned the CD so that no one could ever listen to it again.
Nobody could ever listen to that again.
That seems excessive.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, you owe me $20.
Maybe you could just bring it back to Sound Shop where the little sticker is on there that shows that you purchased it there and say like it doesn't play. I don't know why. Maybe they'll replace it. Probably not.
Dude, the record store at Hammond was not anything like this record store in Delaware.
It was way different. political incorrectness. Dude, I did notice one thing, and this is nitpicking because it's 95 and we always have to preface it by saying that. But
Yeah.
when AJ was talking to Lucas, he's like, "What's with you? Yesterday we were normal, and today you're like a Chinese guy from Karate Kid." Mr. Miyagi was from Japan. It's a completely
he's
different country.
He's from Okinawa.
Yeah.
Recognize. Dude, I mean,
That-
politically...
Just like Clueless.
Political
She's from a
incorrectness.
completely different country. She's from El Salvador. Oh, man. So
I don't think they need your skis. They lost everything, Daddy.
get out of my chair. When he said Chinese guy, I was like, oh, well, I'm from the southeast part of the country, so I know that every Asian person is Chinese to these people, and I know that every Hispanic person is Mexican.
We can absolutely point out in 95, it's like everybody in this movie is white and straight. That's an easy one. There's 10 people there. How is it possible that they're all white and straight? Even in Delaware, which I think is like all white and straight people still.
Look at me. I'm in Delaware. That's
If you remake this, especially with how weird a bunch of these people were, there's no chance that you're doing that again. But that's just, it's 95. It's how many attractive white people can we stick on screen at one time?
Oh, yeah.
5 questions. Is it okay for kids?
Yeah, dude. My kid's 12. I would let him watch this.
Yeah.
There's
I don't, would he even understand it? Like he knows conceptually what a record store is, but he's never been in anywhere like that.
No, we've been in CD stores and stuff. There was an FYE is what it's called, I think.
Yeah.
Was in some mall that we were at. Where were we? Somewhere in Texas. And we went in there. I was like, dude, come see this. And he was like, what do you do with these? Not really, but like he's like, well, how do you even play? How would you even play these? I was like, I don't have any place to play these. Like, the computer at the house, that's the only thing that's got a disk drive anymore. So, like, he would get the reference, but, like, he can't relate to it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if you would even enjoy this if you're like, what that? Like, that would be like me. I mean, I guess I don't mind watching movies where kids are doing stuff like Newsies. Like, I never delivered newspapers and wear a freaking cap like Christian Bale.
Of all of the options you had, you went with Newsies.
I was just thinking of a bunch of kids. I'm like, the other one's like pick any prep school movie. I still like those. I didn't go to like a prep school where I was mad at Brendan Fraser because he was Jewish, even though he was good at football.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm glad you weren't mad at him. That means you went to art school. So the point is 12 I think would be fine, but I don't think you're right. I don't think they would enjoy it as much. Yeah,
I'd be curious if Jake likes this because he's probably getting close to old enough where he maybe, if he's ever going to, he probably could in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Could they make it again?
Yeah, dude. Ensemble teen comedy, coming of age. Not in a record store, obviously.
Yeah.
At a vape shop.
Where would you said it in a vape shop. Do you make it if
Save the vape shop. We don't want to be a chain store. We want to be an independent vape shop where we make our own vape juices in a big vat back in the back.
Yeah, we wouldn't have.
You know how much of my blood and sweat is in this? Not literally.
Oh man. Do you make this like a TV show so you can explore all these people's backstories and you can answer some of these questions for me?
I mean, if someone was going to make it now, I'm sure they'd make it a TV show, but I think it's a great movie. I got all the backstory I needed, honestly.
Yeah. So did you recast it?
No, there's too many people, and I don't know any 18-year-olds, thankfully.
I definitely don't.
I mean, you teach a whole bunch of them, but none of them are any good at anything.
They're not good at acting. That is for damn certain. They're not even acting like they care about my class.
They're not even pretending to give a shit about graduating.
That's right.
Can you still watch and enjoy this movie in 2025? I still love it, but maybe if you're coming to it new, I don't know.
Dude, it's a great 90s film if, you never actually experienced the 90s and you like alternative rock. Then I think you're good.
It's streaming on Amazon Prime, which I love because you can get to it easily.
I know. I wish I would have done that instead of dragging that stupid box out from under my bed and finding it in a DVD pile. But it was nice to know that I had it on DVD.
Yeah, because then you can tell your wife, like, see, look, it's important that I keep all these DVDs. I can watch this movie one time ever.
She was in the other room listening to me watch it, and she was going to take the DVD out and burn it with her lighter so nobody could ever watch it again. She did not like it at all, but she hates this kind of music.
I like how she's in the other room and she's like, that movie sucks. It's like, all right, you can't even see it. I think you mean the
She could hear it
soundtrack
because
sucks.
I had it on so loud, and she was like, "What is that? I think I've seen that." And she came in here, she's like, "I don't like this movie." I was like, "All right, duly noted."
Dude, her movie podcast would blow up. It'd be 60 seconds long. This movie's terrible. My back hurts. I'm out.
It stinks.
Duke Phillips Preschool, built on a dare.
Oh man,
I wonder what she cooks like. Naked.
Dude, the guy who plays Duke Phillips, his kid posted a picture on Reddit, and everybody went just crazy with the quotes from the critic. It was great.
Well, John Lovitz posted a couple weeks ago on Instagram that he's got whoever created the show has agreed to like try to do more of it if he can get people interested. So he posted on like Instagram. He's like, hey, email the network or post or whatever and say that you want more of the critic
more.
because they would do more. Yeah. And then a bunch of people in the comments of Lovitz's Instagram post were just dropping.
Just the
quotes.
parody of the movies that they did were so great.
Yeah. Upon closer inspection, these are loafers. Yeah, dude. The critic's great. All right, man. Well, that's it for us. We got Harry and the Hendersons out on Patreon, free 7-day trial if you would like to do that. And then we'll be back on the main feed in 2 weeks with Major Pain.
Major Pain. Oh.
I love Major Pain. God. Characters is going to be tougher because there's nobody in that movie. And quotes is going to be way tougher because there's a million that I still say.
That's what I was going to say. I have plenty of quotes. I might try to sneak some of those quotes in as characters.
Yeah.
If that's the thing.
Dude, I promise, I still say, if he's still in there, he ain't happy. Like once a month.
Yeah, of course. Of course. What else?
Nothing else, man. Vaya con Dios.
Vaya con Dios.
Thanks for listening to Movie Life Crisis. Please subscribe, rate, and review. And remember, don't drive angry.